Greetings! In this video I want to give you the best start you can have in the Oxbow. Right from the first day, let's get as much in as we can, let's max out our carrying capacity, let's make as much coin as we can, and let's be kitted out with the best gear we can right from the start and save as much time as we can. Before we begin, be sure you customize your game the way you want it. If you want to have length of days longer or shorter, that is totally up to you. I find 3 to be the optimal amount of days. It's not too long, it's not too short, it keeps it going, it keeps it exciting. If you choose to have any of these settings on, unlimited hit points or unlimited stamina, things like that, go for it, or unlimited carry. I don't choose to do that, but I do choose to have fast crafting and fast building. Fast crafting makes it so that whenever you craft something, no matter how many you craft, they're all done as soon as you finish, as long as you have the materials. Fast building means that anytime you click with your hammer on a piece of a building that requires resources, all of the resources are put on that one part of the building at a time. I find these to be nice comforts to my gameplay, and you should play the game the way you want to play it. We'll meet at character creation. In character creation, you have made your character the way you want them to be, you've made your choices and everything's ready to go. Let's make our that guy and begin the game. And when we start, the first thing we're going to do is notice that we can go over here, we're going to jump up here, we're going to jump to the right, and we're going to get up as high as we can, and then we'll jump to the left. And that's going to allow us to gather some nice loot right here at the top. That bronze axe is low in its percentage, which makes it good for turning in for a quest in the future of the game, or you can sell it if you choose right off the bat. Now from here we also get a number of potions that are quite useful. The next thing that's going to happen is you'll notice you have a quest marker on your compass at the top of your screen, that exclamation point. This is going to be you talking to Sedwin, and you take the time and make sure you make the choices in that dialogue that you want. He's going to offer you a tutorial, which is do a list of exercises to see if you're still doing okay. That's the tutorial for the game and gets you some of the basics. I'm going to meet you at the other side of this where I'm going to choose not to take the tutorial. And when you're done doing that part of the game and we continue together, we'll go on to making all the money we can and maxing out our carry capacity and getting good gear. From here, we need to go find the Castellan and then the Quartermaster. We'll run this away. He's generally on the walls. Depending upon how, if you did the tutorial, he might be farther along walking along the walls. He might actually be in the village. But again, you can always follow that compass to figure out where he is. Since I skipped the tutorial and I'm here, he's just right about here. Take the time to read the dialogue choices. I'm choosing to skip ahead so that we can maximize our time together here and get as much in as we can. Let's head over here, and Derwin is our Quartermaster. Again, take your time with these choices. Make sure you read through them and you decide the way that you want to respond, the way that your character is, the way you want your playthrough to be. After that, we'll head over this way, and we're going to go to that chest that he mentioned that has some items in it that are going to benefit us and springboard us into making a large collection of money. I'm going to choose to take almost all of these items. And the reason for them is that they are going to benefit me for selling or for just getting our start. I'm not going to choose to take all the hammers. I won't be building quite yet. I only need one, really. And then we'll take these goods. We're going to go to the man who sells us food. So we'll head over then to this market and we'll talk to this individual right here. And we'll say, hello, I have some things to sell you. I would highly recommend you sell that bow. This axe, honestly, if you want to sell it, let's say we are. You can keep it and it can be a quest turn in later in the game. It can benefit you later. We'll turn in the axes, we'll sell those. The copper hoe, I'll sell one of the copper knives. We'll keep one in case we have to do some things later for skinning animals. The oat rolls can go. This olive oil, if you want to keep it as a gift to be given to a man, you keep it. Otherwise, it can be a great decoration for your village later, or it can be 375 coins right now. Then the other thing that might be worthwhile is I tend to sell my potions of temperature. I don't find them to be very useful. By the next season, I've got that problem solved, and you probably will too shortly. We'll click on the stone spears, and we'll get rid of those. Oops. And he has no coins left, which is why it's telling me that I can't do that. Let's scroll down. It's time to buy some pike. We're going to buy all of his pike. Actually, no we're not. You can see on the bar here that I'd be overloaded if I tried to do that. So we're going to buy just enough to be at our maximum. Next step is we're going to go back. Here, if you did the tutorial, this is the sick house, and you already cooked your meat on this fire. If not, you're heading into the sick house and we're going to cook on this. If you happen to not have a torch, you can click on the cauldron, which lights it anyway. If you have a torch, you can light it the normal way. Then we're going to craft these pike into roasted fish. And when we do that, we are going to watch our pike turn from 1 pike into 133 roasted fish meat. That is quite a bit. When you head back out, we're going to be moving pretty slow. A trick that you can do is if you strafe while running, so pressing forward and to the side, you actually go just a little faster. Let's talk to our friend here, and let's sell him some of this roasted fish meat back. Oh, you're out of cash already, friend? Let's buy some of those pike from you then, and we'll continue this process. And what's going to happen is... Oh, I'm about to be overloaded. Let's go over to this fellow here, and we'll go ahead and sell him the roasted fish meat that we have on us. Now we'll go back over to our friend here, and let's buy some of that perch and see how much of that we can carry. And I think you see where we're going with this. We're going to keep doing this until we've bought all of the fish and converted all of the fish. I'll fast forward here and I'll meet you back here after I've done all of my rounds of selling and... or buying and selling. Now we've bought all of his pike, we've bought all of his perch, we've bought all of his roach, and we've turned all of those into roasted fish meat. And now we're going to go over to this lady. She is the person with the clothing. We're going to sell her the roasted fish meat that we have. And then what we're going to do is we're going to look at our total and say 2,451 coins. Yes, please. And then we're going to buy ourselves a large pouch. And we're going to buy ourselves a simple large backpack. And that's going to cost us quite a bit, but this is where we take care of the first major thing that we wanted to do. When I go into my inventory, first off, if you have arrows, let's press F and equip them right away, just so we have it done. Click in your large pouch, press F if you're playing PC, or press Use or Equip if you're playing on the console, and then go to your simple large backpack and do the same thing. We can now carry 65 kilograms, and we still have 816 coins to go, and I still have more things that I can sell. I'm going to head over here, as now it's time to get myself ready for a little bit of adventuring. We're about to leave town, and it's going to be really important that we are equipped when we go. My recommendation when you start out is that you buy a Recurve Bow. The Recurve Bow is the best, in my opinion, because it does decent damage. It's not going to do as much damage as the longbow, is what you'll notice, and it's more expensive. But when you click on it, you'll notice that it has 300 durability. It will last longer. It does 30 damage, but what they don't tell you is that it draws faster. It only takes 1 second to put an arrow in it and be at 30 damage when you let go. Now the longbow takes 2 seconds, and that will matter when we're out and about. I clicked on my Recurve Bow and I pressed number 4, since I'm on PC, to equip it to that slot. I am then also going to click on my axes and press 1 so I can equip it there. And then what I'm going to do is, now that I have my bow equipped, we have arrows, we're ready to go. We double check and see, do I need to sell anything? I think we're good. And then we're going to head out of town. Before you leave, please do note, it's worth looking at this board to say, is there any quests that I can do while I'm out and about? Badgers are on the way, but it's not quick to do. That one, sticks would be really easy for us to take. We can probably gather sticks while we're out. And sticks and logs, easy one to do. We can do that as we come back into town. These two, I'm not ready to take those yet. All right, our next step, you have some options. There is a POI over on this side that you can go to, and it's got decent loot. It's got good stuff in it. It won't take you long to get to. But with me and my setup that I want to show you here, I want to go here. And I'm going to show you how we're going to use this POI, and this POI to maximize what we get out of our start. And by the way, POI simply means point of interest. I'll see you at the first one. We'll do some fast forward. And here we are, we're approaching that point of interest. If you happen to get the rabbit quest, this is a great spot for you to chase down some rabbits and get them. If you have that kind of quest, if you ended up with the wolf or boar quest, we'll have some spots in the future you can check out. Sometimes there are enemies at this particular POI. There aren't any this time, and it's why I told you to make sure you have a bow before we get out here. But we look like we're in the clear. We'll search around for items as we go, and we may have to just go up in these ladders and find, or the stairs, to find our first bits of items. Some free potions, thanks very much. A free oat beer, yes indeed, and another one right here. And some loot in here. Some coins, some fur, and some oat beer. Nice! And then you can duck and see that there's another axe over there and some things to get on that side. So let's get ourselves over there. We can drop down, it's not too far to fall. Climb up the stairs here. And there's some feathers and a couple eggs in here. You can always take those if you like. It's not the biggest deal in the world if you do. There's a copper axe, not in good shape, but still. Beer bottles are not really worth carrying, so I'm going to leave those there. And I don't see anything else worth taking at this point in time. Next step, we're going to go down here. If there were enemies at this POI, you'd be fighting somebody who's usually stuck in this room and is causing you trouble with arrows, perhaps. Another potion of weight, we might take advantage of that. Clay bowls weigh quite a bit and don't give you a lot of money. You can choose to take this if you wish, but we will get weighed down over time if we keep taking all of the things. And there are better items for us to take. We'll head out of here and we'll go down into the cellar. Do not forget this, because this is one of those key spots you want to be. A bronze pickaxe, that's great. Rye beer, it's awesome, because rye beer gives you a larger carry capacity when you drink it. Some free seeds is okay, and some hop seedlings is a nice find as well. And then lastly, there's another bundle here with some copper bars and a gold ring, which is worth great money. There's still more to go though, so let's get out of here. The next place we're going to go, show you on the map, and by the way, if you're here, you might be noticing that there were deer around here and moose. When you're done with this and you're looking at some early things you can do to make money, hunting moose and deer is nice and easy. They're passive, which means they won't attack you, and you get stacks of meat, and you also get stacks of leather for them. And then you can craft that leather into simple bags and sell them. I'll see you at the next point of interest, which is right here. Here we go. Here we are at the next POI, next point of interest. With this one, there's going to be boars nearby, and you might find them sooner than I do if you're walking around. They tend to be on the other side of this area. If you happen to have gotten the boar quest, this is very convenient, because here they will be. I choose not to collect these items because they're heavy, and they don't sell for a lot. I tend to mark this as a place that I'll come back to, and by marking it here, I can just put this little marker and say, I'll be back. I'm expecting myself to need to get that stuff. Up here, there are some worthwhile things to get. There's a little bit to gather here. The beer bottles and the vase, not the most worthwhile. You can definitely get them and sell them. It's free money, so why not take them? I'm going to choose to get them later if I find out that I don't have too much weight on me. And I do, by the way, and so do you, have some great potions on hand. We can drink these potions of weight anytime to gain plus 20 carry capacity. We'll walk down here and notice that there's a boar in the distance. We'll come back out for that. Down here, past these bushes, is a little under area. And the first thing that we get is this long fur hood. That's going to be so helpful when it comes to be fall and winter because it gives you plus 21% cold protection. That's awesome. That's nice to have. The Recurve Bow is only at 13%. It's not that worthwhile. Copper arrows are going to do fine for us. These coins and these iron arrows are going to do much better for us. And in here, we've got a little bit of fur, some leather, and some salt. It's fine to take if you like. You'll also notice that there's a dice set here on the way out. Please don't miss it. And 2 berry wines. The berry wines are interesting because they give you a 500-second effect of 80% less water consumption. Nice. And plus 4 temperature tolerance. It means you don't have to worry about heat or cold as much. And your potions of temperature, the reason I sell them, they're only a plus 4 for 600 seconds. Which is longer, right? But when I look at my berry wine, I also get the 80% less water consumption, and that's very, very handy. Now, when we come out of here, if you happen to have the boar quest, this is a very convenient time for you to take out a couple boars as soon as you find them. If you didn't end up with the boar quest, well, then you don't really need to. I didn't, but let's say that we did, and we'll just do a couple hits here. You'll notice that that took me 2 arrows in the head to take that boar out. When we skin it, since I saved my copper knife, we're going to get a decent collection of things. We're going to get 20 meat, which can be helpful, or sorry, 25 meat and 5 leather. The 5 leather is great, and the 25 meat is great as well. Let's equip those iron arrows by pressing F. because we're about to get into a little more trouble as we go further in our area. And again, this iron arrow and this recurve bow, the iron arrow and the bow combined do great damage, and since the recurve only takes 1 second to draw, you are getting that 30 damage right away. Ah, we're already carrying too much because we have all this meat. We may have to leave some things behind, or better yet, we'll just use our potion of weight. Our next POI is just up the road. I'll see you there. And here we are, at the Leaning Tavern of the Oxbow. In this area, there's a tavern that kind of got, it did a little rock sliding out and into the area down here. When you search this area, there's a couple of barrels that can have things in them. This, I got unlucky this time, there's nothing. This one I got, okay, that's not bad. The mead bottles are not the best. I'll take them since we aren't coming back out here probably forever in a long while. It'll be a long time until I need to go this way. This bundle here has got items in it that are worthwhile. Stone knife, not as much, but the other things, the cheese and the money, absolutely. And as we go around here, we'll search around to see if there's any coin pouches. And I may have missed one over here to this barrel. And this is nice. The dried figs. That's a good one to have. Let's head this way. Now our next major POI is this way. Now, you may have noticed it said wolf in this area. That's why we have the iron arrow equipped, because in this area you might get into a little bit of trouble. And here's my first bit of trouble that I'm going to experience. This wolf should probably see me shortly. Luckily, not luckily for me, it did not do the part where it does its growl animation before attacking. That's another reason why I would like to convince you that the recurve bow is the best. Now, you could also have dealt with that by having a crossbow already loaded. But if you miss, you'll be in trouble. There we go, we caught that wolf before it fell all the way down. And you could also have gotten that white-tailed hawk. From here, since we probably won't see any more trouble, we're just going to go and cross this area. You're going to notice that as we go, there are safe ways to get down this area, and there are not so safe ways. I'll fast forward and meet you at the safe way. Here we are. Now we just head down this pathway and we're going to head up that side. At this point, I'm definitely struggling to move too fast, so why don't we just do a potion of weight to lower our carrying capacity issue and take a potion of stamina, since now we can save ourselves the trouble of losing stamina as we run. It's getting later in the day and we might as well make the best of our trip. So let's head up this way, climb up this hill, and now our final major trial is going to be nearing its end. We'll get some great loot out of this, but there can be trouble up here. Here we are at the POI. This is potentially, and I can hear it now, we have wolves down here. This has definitely happened multiple times for me. That's the first one down. These iron arrows are really worthwhile. That's one down, and now they're coming up for me, perhaps. There we go. There we are. A lot of trouble in this area today, I'll tell you what. So here we are, we have our wolves. 3 wolves later, we have allowed ourselves to get control of this area. That was a nice little start, huh? And if you have your iron arrows equipped, that's going to help you a lot. I pressed inspect mode so I can see if my arrows are still stuck on them and get myself to them. There's more to go though, there's much more to go. So we've only just done the first part of this area. Alright, you don't have to necessarily take all of the meat from these wolves, and if you got the wolf quest, hey, that's awesome. You're definitely over on the amount of wolves you needed to take out. There will be some goats down here if the wolves spawned. You can skin them for leather if you so choose. Meat and leather, that is. If the wolves spawn, these always spawn here. The problem I have is that I'm going to be over my capacity, so I'll have to drop some things. Otherwise, I'm going to be having trouble carrying all of this back. But with all this loot, why not have it all? I'm going to recommend that you head back this way. Don't go up the ladder there. I have only 1 iron arrow equipped, so I got to go back in here and say, let's put on the copper arrows. Or double check and see that my 5 are here, and just click on the 5. Just to be sure that I don't miss a beat when I am firing my arrows at my enemies that are coming up shortly. Over here, you'll see that there are some bandits coming our way, and they're doing a nice job of coming over slowly so that I can miss the first shot. Oops. That's an arrow in your face. Oh, no, there's an arrow in your face, too. Sorry, buddy. Alrighty. 4 bandits. We'll get the loot from this guy. Beer bottle, not the most worthwhile. And where's our other guy? Did he roll all the way down the hill? Did he roll all the way down? I do believe he might have. Oh, well. There's still another bandit to go, and when I hold down inspect mode, what's convenient is it tells me there is another bandit to go. So we'll go head over here and we'll say, can I see our friend through here? Because if I can see our friend through here, then we'll just take him down. And that will take care of this POI. We now have full control over this area, and it's time to just gather things up. Poison bolt, let's take some berry wine, another copper knife. Oh look, a bronze knife. We'll take that. You there, I'll take your coin. The cudgel is heavy and not worth the price. The onions, honestly, probably aren't worth it either. Now that bow is in decent condition. We can take it. Some coins, some furs, some salts. Probably gonna have to leave some things behind. There's a potion of night vision, convenient. There's some mead, also convenient and worth money. The copper bars and tin bars are a problem. They're heavy, but they're worthwhile. We have so much stuff. Oh, the amount of stuff we're carrying. And we're not done yet. There's one more thing to go. When we go up here, we're going to have to do some hardcore parkour. Let's jump up. Get on this log first, and then get over on these logs. From here, you have a few options for how you get there. Since I'm over capacity, I move really pokey. So I've got to go a little over. And then we're going to want to jump all the way up to here. That's a first try miss. And then let's get our timing on it. Made it. And the reason why we came all the way up here is for this iron knife that's in horrible shape. Nope, it's actually for the 300 coins and the iron crossbow and the potion of possibilities. Wow, that is awesome, because the potion of possibilities is something you make late game when you want to respec your skills. You aren't going to need this thing for a while, but do not sell it. It is really not the best thing to have to make later on. Just keep it around somewhere. You can definitely do that. And as far as the iron crossbow is concerned, well, that's a very nice weapon to have this early on, since it's going to do 55 damage plus the damage that a bolt does. That's significant. And if you're the kind of person who likes having a crossbow, well, congratulations. You now have the best crossbow there is, and it's at 100%. Not too shabby. From here, I have generally found nothing more in this area, and at this point I am so overloaded with extra gear that I'm not sure I want to carry anything more. I would suggest at this point that if you want to leave any loot behind that you think is not worth your time to carry, you want more ability to continue to run, you can get more meat anytime. So my choice would probably be to say, alright, I have 140 meat. I do not need 140 meat. That's really excessive. That's going to save me a lot right there. I could even drop more if we so choose. Could I come back and get it? Of course. What's going to happen next is we've reached it. We've gotten, what have we done so far? We have managed to gain maximized carry capacity by having the backpack and the pouch. We are sitting here with a recurve bow and an iron crossbow. I don't have any bolts yet, but I can head right back into town, sell all of this loot off, and then I can have any kind of bolts that I want. At this point, money's not an issue. I still have 1,600 coins sitting here. And our leather, we can craft all of that leather into simple bags, which will help us out as well. And now those can be sold when we get back to town. And that's going to help us get a great start. I'm going to head back to town, and when we get there, when we meet back in town, we'll have some bonus tips. And the bonus tips are going to be related to getting you a nice fresh start in this area and beginning your first village. I shall see you there. Before we do just the fast forwarding back, just a quick tip. When you're heading back, there are definitely dangerous wolves on the way back, and if you're not quite ready to handle a lot of wolf hunting on the way back, then I highly recommend you take this route, that you go up and over the hill to the west here, and as you go up, there's a chance you'll see some wolves this way. This is us going back towards the POI, the Leaning Tavern on the hill. If you head back around this way and walk here, then this is a much safer route. I've definitely gone back the other way, and I've definitely been taken out before by wolves on the way back, just because it was a little more A little more conflict than I was ready for after a few early hits. But of course, you always do have your potions and your plantain you can eat or use. If we use all 5 of these, I'm already back at 89 health. Alright, with that, I will see you back at Peacelovia. Greetings, we've made it back all the way to Peacelovia, and now that we're here, what we can do is sell some of these things. I happen to have this merchant right here who I'm going to sell some things to. The bronze knife is nice, but we don't need to keep it if we don't want to. The berry wine is kind of helpful. You can definitely sell it if you like. It's not that it doesn't have that much of a price to it, but it's still decent. The cheeses are nice because the cheeses give you the same effect as a stamina potion, except they also give you food, so I'd suggest that those stay around. Clay bowls I don't really need. This copper axe, I'm not going to use that. I have 2 copper knives, I don't need both. The dice set you could sell or keep as a decoration, it's totally up to you, but we're going for the money right now. I'm not going to keep the eggs because I can't do anything with them right off the bat. Fur I won't have anything I can do with, and I can always get more fur later. The gold ring, let's go for money. We can't, because they don't have the cash. Interesting. So then we can sell our mead. Still has enough money to buy that from us. The mead bottles I don't need, so I'll sell those off. Poison copper bolt I could keep if I like, but I'm going to sell it because I don't need it on hand. I don't need the potion of temperature. This recurve bow could be a good decoration, but again, I don't need it. The salt isn't really doing much for me right now. The bars I'm gonna choose to keep because I know I can craft them, so those I'll happen to keep. I'm not going to end up using the wooden crossbow, so it's gone. And those vials can go. Looking at that, I'd say we're not doing too bad. I could have sold even more, but he doesn't have any money. So let's see what we can do. If we can sell any more, we will. And if you find that you have merchants that you can sell to, please do go for it. Because why not get that cash while you're here? The bronze pickaxe, again, I would highly recommend you keep that thing on hand. It is really worthwhile. The gold ring can go, now that we have somebody you can sell to. If you're not a fan of the crossbow, well, this is a great time for you to sell it if you don't want it. This iron knife might be nice just to keep around because it's not selling for much, and who knows, maybe we can make it pay off later. Don't sell the hood. It's worthwhile to keep that for when the seasons change. Please make sure you keep that one. The instant heal potions, they aren't really worth a lot of money. I'd suggest you keep them. The rye beers, honestly, I have a bias on that. Don't sell those things off. I think they're so worthwhile. They're really handy for carry capacity. And now, we check out how far we've come. What do we have so far? We have 3,700 coins. We have an iron crossbow. Tomorrow, if I can't get it today, I can buy bolts for that thing. I have 50 meat sitting in my inventory for my first villagers, and I'm sitting on all of these different potions. And it's a nice place to be. From here, I'll give you some quick bonus tips if you're interested. We're going to first off make sure that you can see what's going on as long as I can get a potion.
What can I do for you?
Oh my, let's see here. This is not the person I want to buy from. So what I want to do is I want to find my herbalist, who I happen to look at the wrong person. Oopsies. Let's go here and buy a potion of night vision.
Whatever you need.
You have some options for things that you can do if you so choose, and you may have done these earlier if you wanted. Potion of night vision makes it much easier to see. The Castellan is right there. Here's his wife. Now, we might have to rush into this building. You have the option of stealing these items if you want. Now, I did all of that before she came into the room. Goodness me, was that fast. Quick fingers, and I'm out of here. You have the option of doing that. It's not something you have to do, but I did just come out of there with 500 more coins and a few stolen items, which you now see are highlighted in red. That means that if I try to, well, they're stolen, it means they're stolen, but also it means if I try to sell it here in Peacelovia, nobody's going to buy it unless it's the exotic vendor. You can just travel to any other town and sell them there, and you're set. And now you get all of the money for these loots. And they're good loots. 1,000 for that jewelry box, 500 for the perfume. You can save them for decorations, or you can save them for use in your courting or trying to find a mate for you for the game later as well. But now that we've done all that, and with that quick bonus thing there, the last bonus tip will be here's a good place to start if you like. And by the way, if you want to start out and you want to start out with some resources, a quick tip I can give to you is if you don't feel like doing all of the mining and excavating yourself and you have some carry capacity, what do I have? I can hold 15 more. When I go to this gentleman right here and I see all of his logs, they're heavy, but they only cost me 1.5. If I buy these logs now, I will have 39 logs that I can use to build with, and I don't have to chop a bunch of trees down. Do I think that's handy? I really do. So what I'm going to do is buy all of those things. Can I sell these? You'll notice they're grayed out. No, because I'm from the same town as I stole from, so I'm not going to be able to sell these here, as you already knew. I could craft these leather into simple bag if I'd like. It is an option you have. You also could craft this meat into things. What I'm going to do is, since I have my potion of carrying capacity, I will simply drink another one of those, and then we're going to head out to a key location that I want to show you that is a great start spot for you if you want to have a village near Pieslovia and be able to build quick in this area. When you build your first village, there's going to be a few things that are helpful for you. I'm going to meet you somewhere because it's going to take me a while. I'm going to be a little pokey because I'm carrying so much stuff. We are going to end our journey right here, and I'll put a marker for you all to see. See you there shortly. Here we are. Sometimes there are wolves here, and the last time I did a video like this, I definitely got attacked by wolves. Here they come. I can see that there's a deer out front of there, and I can also see the wolves are coming now. So here they come, and there they go. Alright, you're down. That's enough out of you. The other wolf is over here somewhere. It must have chased down something worth hunting. I don't have survival sense or hunter's sense yet. The reason that I've chosen this area as a great start spot, aside from having to hunt wolves, is look at all the sticks. All of these trees can be harvested for sticks. That's going to help you build your buildings. There's also a convenient little POI over there with logs. How about that? I'm going to choose to drop our logs here because we do not need to be sitting here with all these logs in our inventory. And by the way, I would suggest, and I have it in the text as you saw back in the village, if you buy some straw, it would really help you here, since the first few buildings you're going to build, that you're going to have, require straw for their roof, and that makes things a lot easier. We can skin this wolf to get rid of it because we're going to build in this locale. The reason why I'm suggesting that this is a good spot to start is, number one, a mine is a great thing to have. You're going to need resources, you're going to need stone specifically, and other items as well. Sorry, buddy. You're going to have to take a break there. There we go. So we'll skin our last wolf here that we've taken out, and now we've totally taken this place over. It is ours, and we can begin anew here. You'll know that the wolves are here because there will always be a dead deer, and inside here you'll notice that there are mining nodes. When you hold down the inspect key, when you get your survival sense, those will be highlighted. You might notice as well, there are deer in here that you also get to harvest since we had the wolves here. If the wolves don't spawn here, you won't see them. It'll just be a mine. So my suggestion now is that you build your simple things first. Easiest thing you can start with is build a simple house. Highly recommend that you make sure that the base is stone. If you happen not to have any stone on you, keep in mind you have this pickaxe. And what I would suggest doing is head into this mine, and every time you get a node, you're going to notice that you're going to get stone as well as the resource it says. So I have 5 stone and 5 copper resources. By harvesting these, I can gain my stone, which will be used for the walls of my houses, and also the foundations, the bases. I will need a hammer to get ourselves started here. And I hope that this has been a helpful bonus tip for you, is to say that you can build your house here. And my suggestion when you build that house, look at all the logs that we happen to take with us. This is super handy, because then all we have to do is walk over a little further, and we have our first building already a long ways in. You can change these to be stone, which would be my suggestion, since you're going to have plenty from your mine next door and the logs that you've gathered up here. If you find yourself needing to harvest trees, please do remember that maple trees give more logs and more experience as you take them down, since you get 4 logs per. And our person here is parched, so we should probably give him a break. If you choose to make these out of wattle, then you have all of these trees next to you that you can hold down the use key or the E key to collect, and then you will have plenty of sticks. Thank you for joining me for this video, and thank you for sticking around all the way to the end for these 2 extra tips here, and I'm grateful to have you here. A like and subscribe would help as well if you can to help build this channel. Thanks for taking the time to watch this. I hope you have a wonderful start, and I hope you've gotten the best start in the Oxbow.